Hello, my name is Andrew Lindroth. Today I'm going to be discussing a policy change I would like to implement for Zildjian symbols. I believe that this policy change will tremendously impact and improve their artist relations and their marketing strategy. For Zildjian, their endorsed artists are some of the most well-known and successful drummers in the world. According to Zildjian.com, they have artists endorsed such as Aaron Spears of Ariana Grande, Tony Royster that used to drum for Mac Miller and also Usher, and you also have Eric Moore that drums for Frank Stabito, and many more artists in different types of genres. To become an endorsed drummer or artist for Zildjian, there's a rigorous written application you must complete first, in which you turn into Zildjian. After passing that initial stage, there will be a meeting for the artist relations team to go over briefly your credentials again, check out your social media, just to make sure that you are worth investing. The reason why I use the term investing for endorsing artists for Zildjian is because whenever Zildjian endorse artists, they usually give them free cymbals before they leave for a tour, before they go and record a new album, or before they even do a clinic tour. They'll even pay them as well to go all over the world to teach for hundreds of people at a time. So now I'm going to explain the policy change I would like to implement for Zildjian. Once again, I believe that this will tremendously help their artist relations and marketing strategy. So Zildjian is one of the most successfully run companies in the world, and they have been around since 1623. So there's no doubt that their strategies that they've been using is working. But I feel like that this policy change in their artist endorsement area will greatly improve. So the policy change starts with multiple levels or tiers of endorsements. Right now, Zildjian only endorses the best artists. With the amount of given tiers, I believe that there should be three, the top one being those top artists, and then you got two lower level ones. You may have somebody in a bit of a bigger local band, a bit of a bigger regional band, and then the very top where you're playing for the biggest artists in the world. With that being said, that's going to help a lot, first of all, with the artist relations, because the artist wants to be part of what they call the family here at Zildjian. Anytime a new artist is recommended or endorsed, they're known as welcome to the family. So this is going to help a lot, and it also helps with the players' resumes as well. So this can go a long way with the relationships between the players and Zildjian Company. Also, it's going to help Zildjian tremendously because there are other independent artists as well that post videos of playing and teaching on Instagram and Facebook that attract thousands and thousands of viewers. And these guys usually aren't endorsed either because they're not playing in a band. They can't get past that first written phase in that application process. And I believe that Zildjian should lock down these players because with the amount of exposure that they're giving to the world for Zildjian, they should be making sure that Zildjian is the only cymbals that these players play. Because at any given time, these players can choose to play something else, and then suddenly they're not representing Zildjian anymore. But with Zildjian giving them the contract to sign, saying that you were to only use and promote Zildjian products, that's going to help that a lot. Also, another thing is that I want a new criteria application for marching bands and drum corps. This is another huge market apart from playing in a band or being an independent drummer online because according to Scott Scojo of the Blue Devils Drumline, he did a research that the amount of members that are applying and trying to get into marching band and how much it's grown by 15% in the past few years. So there's tremendous growth here that we can see. And if Zildjian can somehow come up with another 3-tier level, maybe for marching bands or the DCI organizations too, they can lock down those organizations so when they have that budget money every year, they are able to spend it on Zildjian cymbals only rather than saying, I may want to try Sabian cymbals or let's try something else. Instead that they already know what family they belong to. That way Zildjian knows that they're going to be getting that money at least. So there's pros everywhere, no cons to be seen in sight. Now with the tiers as well, there's going to be different types of benefits, which I feel like will help separate that as well. Of course, Zildjian cannot just dish out free cymbals to every artist that's about to play a show or record an album, but they can do stuff like hand out these towels all the time, shirts, different types of products that may not be nearly as expensive that people can still post online, tag Zildjian and represent them. It's also important too because it solidifies a strong professional business relationship with these artists as well. For instance, my father is a percussion director at Northeastern State University. He's given a budget every year that he's allowed to spend on percussion items, usually cymbals. We're always in desperate need for cymbals. And recently my father had applied to be an artist represented by Zildjian. Unfortunately, they declined him. My father thought he had the credentials to do so. With that being said, my father finally this year said, I want to try something different. I want to spend my budget on different symbols. This is a big deal because now Zildjian, with that very, very rigorous and limited process that they use, my father is now going to be using something else because he was not able to do that. That's why I feel like with the policy change of these 3 tier levels, they'd probably be able to sign him to another level of a tier, keeping my father happy in terms of the relations, and Zildjian will always get that guaranteed money and purchases by that. I just really feel as if that this is a very important policy change. There's very, very little cons, if any, to this policy change. I feel like that more artists can be represented by the best Zildjian company in the world, and I believe that any other company cannot touch Zildjian if they claim these artists and make these lower level tiers so that these players are also representing Zildjian. Thank you.